Hi, today I received a notification from a public office here in Munich saying that I am now a German citizen, which of course is a nice thing to be a citizen of the country where you live and have lived for many years. In my case, I came here to Germany 16 years ago. You can apply for German citizenship after having been living here for 8 years, so for me it's double that time. The reason why I didn't apply sooner is that I'm a Swedish citizen, and Sweden of course is part of the European Union, so I have almost the same benefits as a German citizen in this country, but not quite. I am allowed to vote only locally, for example, not in the parliamentary election, and in fact I haven't been voting for 16 years actually, because I don't really see the reason to vote in my home country, which is Sweden, since I don't live there anymore. I have the feeling it's not my responsibility anymore, and I haven't even been following politics in Sweden for many years. Actually, I don't even visit the country anymore. Why I don't visit Sweden anymore would be a topic for another video, but now, since I'm a German citizen, I feel another kind of responsibility to vote here, to stay informed, of course. Since I have now this channel, and since I talk about politics here among other things, I am now also following politics in Sweden. Actually, I didn't do so before. But being a citizen of this country makes you feel a certain kind of responsibility. I always was a responsible person. I have always been hardworking. I started working already as a child in Sweden by delivering newspapers, and I had a bunch of other jobs. I have had different jobs here in Munich as well, and I always respected the law, etc. I never had a problem with the law, the police, or anything like that. But are all immigrants like this? That's the big question. Yesterday I talked to a refugee from Eritrea, a nice guy who lives in an asylum house for refugees here in Munich. And what he's told me was fairly shocking. There are groups of Somali men in his residence who drink alcohol several times a week, and then they get angry and they fight. Not long ago also one of these Somali men drew a knife on another guy, and there is a security in this house, this residence. And according to this Eritrean, the security does nothing because they are afraid of these men, of these Somali men who are fighting, drinking and fighting and screaming all night. The Eritrean guy said 3 to 4 to 5 nights a week, so he's not able to sleep. He's not able to learn German. He's taking German courses, and he is very annoyed, very upset, and frustrated by this situation. How is the situation in Germany concerning foreigners and criminality? If you have a look at the statistic from last year for criminality in Germany, we will see that 41% of the murders were committed by foreigners. 38% of severe bodily damage were committed by foreigners, 39% of the rapes, 44% of severe cases of theft, and 41% of cases of attacks, robbing attacks on people in cars and other vehicles, and 25% of people committing crimes against the environment. However, the part of the whole population here in Germany which consists of foreigners is 9.5%. So you can see that foreigners in this country are vastly overrepresented in many kinds of crimes. This is very upsetting, and this is nothing which is really talked about in this country, and it's the same in Sweden actually. There are about 10% Muslims of the Swedish population, and these are also vastly overrepresented in the criminal statistics, although there is officially no real criminality statistics in Sweden, and there hasn't been for a couple of years, I think since 2005, because it's considered racist. But from all the reports of criminality, it's obvious that foreigners, especially men from Muslim countries, are vastly overrepresented in criminality in Sweden. So this is a big problem which has to be talked about, and the official media is not reporting about this because they are afraid to be regarded as racists. Perhaps it's a little bit easier for me living in this country to talk about these issues because I'm a foreigner myself. I had to integrate, I had to learn the language, I also took German courses, and I had to apply for a job, although I'm a foreigner, although I'm not a native speaker, although I'm still after 16 years speaking with an accent, and I had to translate my curriculum vitae into German, and etc, etc. I had to find somewhere to stay, and so on. I had to find new friends here, and I managed all of this. I have a good job now with which I am very content. I have good friends, and I have a good social life, and I have a good life in general. So this is possible for foreigners. Now perhaps it was a little bit easier for me because I look like a German, almost, I guess, and I'm from an EU country, so I never had a problem with, for example, getting the right to stay here, to work, etc., because it's a union. But still, I had to integrate, I had to adjust, I had to accept the laws, I had to get informed about the laws, of course, I had to accept the customs here. And this is a big question mark, if all foreigners really are this open to adjust, to accept the traditions where they are, to accept the laws, and to really integrate. I doubt they are, and this is something that has to be talked about. There have to be measures to really integrate the foreigners, including the refugees from Muslim countries and other refugees, into German society. And if we have a look at the criminal statistics, I think we can say that this integration has so far not been successful. Thank you for your attention. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll talk to you soon again.